On today's episode of Identity, advocate for youth empowerment Quazi Kondile hangs out in the Identity coffee shop. We head to Westonaria to hang out with members of the Youth Leaders Visionaries Movement. We review a mental health app and a family health and first aid guide. And we play out with a track by Daniel featuring Nandi Ndlovu.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Good morning and thank you for tuning into the Multi-Faith Youth Show that aims to get your week off to a great start. This is Identity and I'm your host, Viwe Gxwala. Last week marked the celebration of Laylatul Qadr, which symbolizes the night in which the Quran was first revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by Allah. During this celebration, the Muslim community spends time in prayer or reciting the Quran. Laylatul Qadr, also known as the Night of Power, is a time to ask for forgiveness and peace. We wish our Muslim viewers well as they near the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. Lixesha ngoku lokuzitika ngokuniphakela ukutya komoya esikumphathele kona namhlanje. Nina nje ncebelekani ngeti okanye ikofu nonwabele le mizuzu ngama-30 masiqale ngokudibana nondwendwe lwethu. The gentleman joining me today is an advocate for youth empowerment and development. Quazi Gond holds Bachelor Science degrees in Construction Economics and Quantity Surveying from the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. His philanthropic streak first came to light when he started tutoring matric learners at a high school in Port Elizabeth. It was then that he realized his true passion was to help others grow, which then led to the birth of the National Youth Engagement Initiative, a platform that helps young people find their voice through open dialogue on the social, economic, and development policies that affect them. Recently, he ventured into the technology entrepreneurship space, so of course I had to invite this young game changer over for coffee, cupcakes, and a chat. And to my delight, he obliged. Quazi, welcome to Identity.
Thank you so much. It's very great to be here.
Okay, masiqale ekuqaleni ke ukhule njani wena?
Ndazalwa eGxowa, small town, former Transkei region of the Eastern Cape. Really had three very influential women in my life: my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. I think those were like they were the ones who really grounded me on a lot of values and principles that have really shaped me to be the person that I am today. So, I mean, if you look at the economics of Batuk, it's a small town, like I said, previously very, I could say, industrial. So, I mean, one thing about my family as well is that they were quite entrepreneurial in terms of if there was one netware, I mean, in the town, they know that, okay, Kondile, that's where you go and get your stuff. So over and above the fact that, you know, they were quite entrepreneurial, they were also teachers. So you were fortunate to have, you know, embedded in you those values and the prioritization of education for empowerment. That is a prevailing context, and that's what's really shaped me to be where I am today. So yeah.
And you spoke about values intensely. Yeah. So what role does spirituality play in your life, and what significance does it have in shaping the type of person that you are today?
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up in a Presbyterian home. Like I remember when I was still, you know, in the early ages, 7 to 12, you know, with the uniform and you go to church. Over and above the times, I've become centered and grounded because I feel like, you know, there's just certain facets in my life where, you know, to attribute to a lot of things to, you know, forces of nature is just, it wouldn't pay tribute to what, you know, I feel the value that God has actually given me, you know, because under normal circumstances, when I think back, you know, it's very hard for me to say that, you know, without having those sort of beliefs, without, you know, following that sort of path, I would have been where I am today. Okay,
and please tell us about the National Youth Engagement. What is it about and what inspired its inception?
So I mean, the National Youth Engagement was really we were naive. It was a naive process of saying, okay, cool. We were really passionate about, you know, involving young people in terms of policy discussions that were happening. Because the one thing that we saw back then was the fact that we have a lot of policies around. We have a lot of engagements. People tell us about consultative processes that have happened, but we don't find youth voices aligned to this. We don't find youth voices, on policy platforms. And young people do have a lot to offer. We are the majority. And so ours was to say, actually, is there no space where we can get leaders to co-create with young people about how do we, number one, come up with these solutions, and number two, then how do we execute them. It was a process that, for all of its worth, it had a lot of potential, if I can be honest. So there was key lessons around how do you build sustainability into this thing, and sustainability needs you to partner up with the right people. And that's where some of the key things that we learned as well going forward, around sustainable solution making, getting the right partners that can walk the journey with you, and people who are aligned. And those are things that, looking back right now, those are key lessons that, we can move forward. We need to create that space because, like you said, the economy is not in a situation that, enables the young person to flourish with all the opportunities that, South Africa presents.
How important is mentorship, especially kubantu abatsha in this day and age where there's economic and social challenges? How important is it for you?
It's very important, when you find a specific role model. And I think that's where the question is, well, how do you find those role models? And when you do, how do you develop those relationships? And I've been very fortunate to have had mentors, both in the corporate space, corporate, some spiritual, who've really tried to give me a lot of guidance in terms of where I am and what are the things I need to do. And that for me has been, very valuable in terms of, number one, molding me into the man that I need to be. Because I feel like, especially, in this current climate, we need more men, we need better men, and we need men who can build sustainable families.
And Khwezi, speaking about lessons and, the challenges that we go through as young people, what are some of the challenges that you've been through? And what are the spiritual values or spiritual principles that you use to get yourself through those challenges?
There's really, been this thing around, finding, where do I add true value within the economy, within the work that I do? And that's where, right now, I feel like having gone through a process where I sat down and I said, these are the values that I'm aligned with in my life. This is a sort of support structure that I need. And being in the entrepreneurship space and what I'm currently doing right now around creating a space where SMEs, can prosper. So for me, it's always been around really gunning around, number one, ensuring that you have a strong value system. And those value systems need to be aligned to your spiritual beliefs. And I think number two, once you have those in place, it's just much easier for you to counter in any challenges that come into life.
And what words of inspiration would you give to a young person who wants to follow in your footsteps, especially as an entrepreneur, especially as a person who takes initiative about things that are close to his heart, especially with regards to technology, using technology in a positive way that brings value to other people? What words of inspiration would you give to a young person?
Around this climate, we need strong individuals. And strong individuals, number one, I'm going to sound like a broken telephone, need a strong value set. And I think, number two, what's important is this whole notion around being resilient, but more so really being anti-fragile. And it's a term that was coined by a guy called Nassim Nicholas Taleb around, strong situations don't last, strong people do. And for me, that really resonates in saying, there's a lot of scenarios. For example, I didn't do well in grade 12. But if you see the bigger picture, if you know your value set and you know how strong those are, and you have that resilience, you will just move on. Strong people see each other, and strong people will help each other prosper. That's the one thing I've always carried through in life. It's a big assumption, but it's an assumption that's worked for me. So yeah.
Okay, Khwezi, I want to test your strength and resilience, as you so thoroughly put it. Okay, so our game here on Identity is called Would You Rather? Okay, and you need to answer as quickly as possible.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather live in eternal summer or eternal winter?
Winter.
Would you have a rewind button or a pause button in your life?
Pause.
Would you rather wear clown clothes or clown makeup for a year?
Clown makeup?
Would you rather only be able to whisper everything or only be able to shout everything?
Whisper everything.
Okay. And would you rather be a pirate or a ninja?
She should be a ninja.
Thank you so much, Khwezi, for joining us on Identity.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, guys.
It was a pleasure having you.
Great stuff.
Ukubona umuntu omtsha etshintsha ubomi babantu abamngqongileyo ngohambo nolwazi lwakhe lunika umuntu intshiseko. Siyathemba ukuba ibali kaKhwezi linukhuthaze ukuba nani nitshintshe indawo enihlala kuzo ngendlela elungileyo. It's now time for a short break. When we return, we take a look at today's regional story, which features the vibrant members of the Youth Leaders Visionaries Movement. And be sure not to miss our media review segment, which features a mental well-being app and a book about family health. See you in a moment.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to Identity, the nation's favorite multi-faith youth show, right here on SABC 1 Mzansians. I'm Viwe Gxwala. Thank you for staying tuned. Lixesha ngokulebala namhlanje elisibhekisa eGauteng eGauteng eEast Rand. Simenye ukuba sochitha imini namalungu eYouth Leaders Visionaries Movement, impembelelo yokukhuthaza ukuphakamisa abantwana besikolo bemfundo ephakamileyo ngezimfundo ezakubanceda. Masibone bekunjani na.
This is my identity.
Greeting Identity viewers, Kalibitso ke nna Otsepeng Tsote, and I'm going to be your guest presenter for the day. Kajeno re mo Mponteng to attend an academic and social event by Future Leaders Visionary Movement. Come and let's explore this wonderful event. The organizer of the program. Buhle, can you please tell us what is the purpose of this event and what inspired it?
Thank you, Otsepeng. Okay, the purpose namhlanje is to engage our learners on the activities such as debate, drum, as well as tutoring our learners.
I can see ho mona hona le dikolo tse ngata, and dikolo tseo ka mokgwa di ngata ka teng kopa o hlalosetsa hore ke tse kae, di tswa kae, ha jwang, and ho kgone jwang hore o kgone o di kopantshe tuleng e one.
Okay, we have different schools around Katoras. Okay, we have schools from Germiston, Alberton, Katlehong, Vosloorus. Yes. Then ikolo sikhonela ukusihlanganisa by doing marketing. So we go to each and every school, sicela principal to give us the permission to go to the assembly and to market the organization.
Can you take us through the program of today and what can we expect?
Okay, namhlanje sizobona ama-learners wethu ba-debater, sobona futhi bayenza ba-performa ama-drum, as well as we'll show you as well ama-classes wethu where ama-tutors bafundisa khona abantwana.
Hona jwale ke na le co-founder of Youth Leaders Visionary Movement, Ncedo Malinga. Ke a bona hore le kopantshitse dithuto tsa bona le social life ya bona with their religion. So what inspired that?
What inspired us to involve religion in academics or education? It's because of we are grooming learners to be parents one day. So it's very important ukuthi kube khona immoral regeneration ukuthi ama learners akwazi to understand ukuthi they need to love other people as much as you want to become successful empilweni, as much as you want to become something great, but you should have a character, a good character in fact, that will enable you to get respect from the community. So it's very important for you to know uNkulunkulu. It's very important to know where you're coming from and your identity. So that is why we want them to have morals, and not only having morals but also be able to respect another person, as the Bible says, you must love your neighbor as you love yourself.
So what is the improvement that you've seen around the community since you have started this movement?
We've started this movement since from 2013 January, and what we've been doing, we've been tutoring learners as well as having these social events where we mix these events with religion as well, because we are a Christian organization. We believe in good morals. We believe that we must raise leaders who are academically excellent, who are spiritually vibrant, who are socially excellent as well. So really we have been seeing a good improvement kuma learners to the time besinabo organization, the time bisbatutara, the time samba senza lama social event as well. So now there are learners about university, which I believe they are helping other learners to get into universities, and some of them are also joining us to tutor as well learners. So that is a good improvement.
One of the tutors here. Can you please explain to me how did you prepare for the tutoring that you've been doing with the learners, And how does it feel to be a teacher?
Okay, basically in this we take questions from our past exam question papers, so that we do one with the learners, then we let them also to do questions on their own, so that it helps them prepare for our exams.
So what did you learn from today's event and the youth movement as a whole?
Okay, basically from izinto ezenzakalayo in our events, they actually teach us that the young people do have potential, and indeed it's now a leader that you can raise from these very young people that you have. So it's actually a good thing we started such a thing, so that CISO expose them into such things, but always expose their skills and their capabilities.
Can you please tell me how is this initiative helped you?
Okay, this project has helped me through learning more things that I didn't know in the past. I've joined this project for 3 years about now from grade 9. It has helped me to improve academically and know more about my moral values like helping and reaching out to the community.
How does this whole program been to you for today?
This program is very encouraging. It was very educational. There's some things I didn't know that I understood after this program, and yeah, it was also entertaining. Very, very entertaining. Yes, I enjoyed it.
Okay, hona jwale ke kgwedi ya June, and as we all know, this is the Youth Month. So what can you say about the youth of 1976, and what have you learned from them?
I'd like to say to the youth of 1976 that thank you, because of them, we have all these privileges that we've never had, like the books that we have, the textbooks we had, and being able to study in the language you choose to study in. That's the most thing I'd like to thank them for. And what I've learned from them is that as a youth, now we have a voice to speak. Now because of them, we can actually do something that we want.
Identity viewers, this still proves that education is the tool to liberate us from poverty and move our country forward. With those words, from me, Otepeng Tute, back to studio.
Ayikho nje into enika umdla njengokubona ulutsha lutshintsha ubomi babantu kwindawo abevele kuyo nokubafaka kwingqubela. Enkosi kwiqela le-Youth Leaders Visionaries Movement ngokwabelana nathi ngebali elihle kangaka. Do you also have an inspiring religious or community uplifting story? Why not share it with us and our Mzansians audience? Send a detailed email to identitytvshow@gmail.com, and we might just take a short lift to your hood soon. Let's take one more break, after which we head straight into our media review segment, which features an app for those taking care of people living with mental illness and a manual for family health and first aid. See you in a moment.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to Identity right here on SABC 1 Mzansians. I'm Viwe Gxwala. Today's show got off to an uplifted start with coffee, cupcakes, and an inspiring conversation with entrepreneur and strategist Quazi Gond. We then headed to Gauteng in the Ekurhuleni municipality of Gauteng to hang out with the dynamic members of Youth Leaders Visionaries Movement. Now it's time to check out what's trending on the media front. This is What's Happening. Research shows that 1 in 4 people lives with mental illness. While it's important to take care of friends and family members that are living with a condition, carers need to be taken care of too. If you're responsible for the care of someone living with mental illness, then this app is for you. It's called MyCare. The MyCare app can be described as a coping aid for those caring for people who are living with mental illness. The landing page provides information about why one should use the app, as well as what the app does. If you need help understanding how to use the app, select the I Need Some Help tab. Once you've read through this information, you can simply get started. List actions and set goals to help you maintain your well-being under the My Plan option. For a list of helpful contacts in case of an emergency or crisis, select the In a Crisis tab. Here you can add contacts, learn more about what steps you can take, and a list of quick fixes and stress busters. To help you recover from challenges of caring for your loved one, the app offers a My Recovery option, which includes tips on exercise, healthy eating, and sleeping patterns. Identify and understand your stress triggers so you can better manage your stress levels with the help of the My Stress option. If you find yourself in the middle of a crisis and need quick access to your contacts, simply select the Crisis tab at the bottom of the screen. Equip yourself with personal care strategies so you can take better care of your loved ones with the help of the MyCare app.
Njengoba sikulontetho yempilo, lixesha ngokulesiqendu sethu esilandelayo. Yincwadi enolwazi ngempilo yondwendwe namaxesha angxamisekileyo kwezempilo. Ibizwa First Aid and Family Health.
First Aid and Family Health is a practical and comprehensive medical reference book co-authored by 3 experienced doctors. The book is divided into 2 parts, Step-by-Step First Aid and Family Health Guide. The first part of the book tackles different types of first aid problems with topics such as life-saving priorities, lungs and breathing, wounds and bleeding, as well as bone and muscle injuries. The book provides illustrated step-by-step guidelines for different scenarios. Each chapter ends with a skills checklist to review key points as well as the skills learned. Part 2 of the book focuses on a range of medical conditions and ailments and has a page designated to help the reader understand how to use the family health chapters. The book offers topics that deal with issues such as how the organs function within the body, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and caring for children and the elderly. Within the book, you'll also find a glossary of useful medical terms, as well as an index of different conditions and where in the book they can be found. Throughout the book, a cross-referencing system makes it easy to learn how different conditions and ailments relate to each other. If you're looking for a helpful reference for your family's health needs, get yourself a copy of the First Aid and Family Health book.
Depending on the sighting of the new moon this week, the Muslim world will celebrate Eid-Al-Fitar either on Wednesday or Thursday. This festival of charity marks the end of the month-long fast of Ramadan. Eid-Al-Fitar is one of the major observances in the Islamic year and is celebrated with prayer and thanksgiving, as well as giving to those less fortunate. We wish our Muslim viewers Eid Mubarak. On that note, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Identity. We hope you've been empowered by our featured guest, our regional story, and our reviews. Stay in touch with us via our social media pages. Search for Identity TV Show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you're not really into the social media lifestyle, there's no need to feel left out. You can drop us an email on identitytvshow@gmail.com. Namhlanje sivala inkqubo yethu ngengoma ebizwa Batuk ekaDaniel Nandi Ndlovu. Masidibane kwakhona ngecawe elandelayo ngentsimbi ye-11 khonapha ku-SABC 1 Mzansians Show. Kum uViwe Gxwala neqela le-Identity, salani kakuhle.
Akufamba ayinjulu, akufamba ayinjulu, akufamba ayinjulu, akufamba ayinjulu, akufamba ayinjulu, akufamba ayinjulu, ungabuyi Daniel, kamba Daniel.